What's up, everybody? Flectard here. We're gonna do a little prospecting. All prospecting begins and ends with this right here, the basic gold pan. Use this for testing and for finish panning your gold. First thing to look for is where to prospect. Best thing you can do is prospect in a place where gold has been known to be found in the past. Places where mining was done, maybe back in the day. If you can't find a place where you know mining was done, you can look for clues on the map. Certain names will give it away. A creek name like Bonanza Creek tells you something happened there, right? Or Gold Mine Creek, Treasure Creek, places like that. You find these little names and it's a clue. They got named that for a reason. If you locate a place like that, it's good to look for maybe some quartz. It's kind of a good indicator. In this creek here, we've got a lot of quartz mixed in with the granite. That's a good sign. We're in an area where gold was definitely mined in the past, but not so much these days. And you know, the old timers didn't get everything, and every time there's a flood, it exposes new ground. Avalanches happen all the time, gold gets washed in. So once you locate an area where you want to prospect, you think gold might be, then where do you go on that creek? There's tons of good information out there, especially, you know, look at the stuff from Gold Prospectors Association of America. Tons of great information. Tom and Perry Massey, tons of videos out there on how to find gold, and I won't get into that too much, but good indicators, a place like this where you have a drop in the water, where that water is dropping down either in a pinch point or where it goes from higher to lower. Just think to yourself, if I was something heavy, something really heavy, where would I stop on my way down? And a lot of times that'll happen right where the current kind of goes slack. Anything heavy will stop tumbling at that point, and it'll stop right there and go down and sink. So take a good place to try out, right where this water goes slack. Let's do a little panning and see what we find. This is another very valuable tool. Not really necessary for test panning, but it sure speeds things up and makes things easier. It's called a classifier. Basically separates the big rocks, makes it a lot easier so you're not picking a lot of big rocks out of your pan and having to deal with those. I think under this rock right here is probably a good spot. So with your classifier over your pan like that, submerge it in the water and just start washing these bigger rocks. And pick the bigger ones out. Man, this water is freezing. Something else that would be good to have with your pan and classifier is a good pair of insulated rubber gloves. You always want to rinse your rocks, make sure there's nothing stuck to them. If there's clay or anything like that on it, wash that clay off. A lot of times the gold will be stuck in the clay. Good and clean there. Basically what you want to do, work the gravel in a circular motion. This causes anything heavy in there to go to the bottom of the pan. You want to have plenty of water and keep the whole thing moving around like a slurry. If it locks up on you like that and it's not moving, then the gold's not dropping to the bottom. Let's step over here and pan this in the calmer water. We're not panning it back into our hole. A good slurry action going. And you'll see the stones start to slough off the edge. In this pan, this pan has riffles in it. And this really works good. Anything heavy gets caught under the riffle. The lighter stuff, the stones, slough off the top. You just want to make sure that it stays slurry like that, so it doesn't drag anything heavy over the edge. You just tilt your pan a little bit, keep it slurrying, and let those lighter rocks slough off the top while we're working everything heavy down to the bottom. Then I stop and bring it back like this, and I use the water, just the water, pull some of those stones off the edge. Once we get down like that, the lighter stuff has been pulled off, and we can see it locking up there where it's not moving as easy. Then we pull it back and re-slurry it, keeping plenty of water in there. That stratifies everything. It's the heavier stuff down towards the bottom. Wash some more of the lighter stuff off the top. Now you don't want to get in there and start digging around and pulling rocks out. You want the water to do the action. It's okay to pull out really big rocks, but at this point those are gone anyway. So you don't want to get in there and poke around. You want to work it down all the way. It's amazing how hard it is to see gold when there's other material in there. You really have to work it down. So don't get too antsy and start poking around. Got it washed around, settled back down. Work it down some more. Now you don't want to tip this. You don't want to tip it so stuff starts pouring out, because then you can lose gold over the edge. You want to keep it tipped almost level and let the water wash the light stuff out. Now we're getting it worked down there. And I hate to jump the gun, but I see gold. Yes, indeed I do. Alright, I want to be really careful at this point because I'm already seeing some gold showing up. It's a very good sign. This is our first time prospecting this area. And after just a basic investigation of this creek bed, looking at the lay of the land, trying to figure out a good pinch point, good spot where the gold would drop out in a flood, we kind of settled on this area just for a basic test. See what happens. This is where it starts getting delicate, and there's a lot of different techniques. You can kind of shimmy your pan back and forth if you can see that. And that helps the water wash it around, pull the white stuff out. Or you can just go straight back and forth, and that works just fine too. pull it back, pull it all the way down. That way you want all the gold right down here at the very bottom. Reslurry it, get everything settled back down. Now the white stuff is up on top again. Anything heavy is down lower, keeping the pan basically horizontal. Let those riffles grab the heavy stuff and let the water pull the white stuff out. When you start getting it worked down really far, if you're in a good area, you'll usually start seeing black sand. Really dark black sand, it's generally a hematite, is really heavy stuff. It's an iron sand, very mineralized. At this point, if there's a couple stickers in there, pebbles that are screwing you up, you can pick them out. But definitely pick them up and look at them and make sure it's a pebble. You also want to watch out for meteorites. You can find chunks of meteorite, little meteoroids. Some of them are extremely valuable and they're very, very heavy. Full of heavy metals, and sometimes they're worth their weight in gold. That's just a heavy stone. Also, if you're prospecting in an area that's been settled for a long time, you also want to look for junk. Old pieces of iron, old nails, especially old bullets. If you start finding stuff like old bullets, you are digging in the right spot, because you're finding the heavies. Now gold is even heavier than lead. So if you're digging in an area and you're going through rusty old nails, maybe some old square nails, and you'll find some old bullets, keep going down, because the gold is even heavier than that stuff. And you're in the right spot at that point. You can see the black sand showing up there. And I see gold. I see some color down in that black sand. And be careful not to lose it out of the pan though. Yes indeed, there is gold there. Now that is super heavy material there. That black sand is really heavy. But you see how it just kind of floats around. And you want to very carefully wash that off the edge. If you stop too soon and try and pull that back, it makes it really hard to wash it out of the gold. You're getting down there pretty well though. Alright, I think we got it down to a point where we can pull it back. And now we want to, I like to pull it over to the edge of the pan, wash it over to the other side. Get it all washed over there really good. Now, I like to do it without the riffles a little bit at this point. Until you've had some experience panning, you probably want to stick with the riffles because they'll keep any gold from washing out. Alright, we got her down to the nitty-gritty there. That's the really heavy stuff. We get it like that, wash it all over the corner, and then I like to do this. Tap, 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 tap. That makes that heavy gold walk right up to the very edge. Tap, tap, tap. Now, I'm going to get a little bit more water in the pan. Just a little bit. You want to have enough that you can do a swirling action. I like a fairly wide bottom pan with a slightly raised center. Garrett makes a good pan like that. That way when you go side to side to wash this material off your gold, you actually have water going up both sides of the pan because the center's raised. So we go like that. And it comes up from both sides and washes that black sand down the center. And there, my friends, that is a really good test pan. If you can see that gold in there, that is a nice amount of color. And it's kind of chunky. It's not super fine flour gold. There's some nice little chips in there. Probably, I don't know, 25 colors, and some of them are pretty big. What we do now at this point, another key tool to have, handy dandy snuffer bottle. Order these online for a few bucks, or you can make your own with a little piece of tubing. Get a little water in there. Now I do my tap, tap, tap. It pulls the gold over the edge. Something else I want to mention, since it just happened. Gold floats, my friends. It sounds crazy, and it doesn't really float. But what happens is water, especially water with a lot of minerals in it, and seawater, can build surface tension. And with very fine gold, it can ride on the top of that surface tension of the water. Just the same way an insect can run across the top of water because of the surface tension. I can see a couple little specks of gold on top there. If you tap, a lot of times they'll drop back out. It's crazy, gold's so heavy, but it can float. So with the snuffer bottle, we get everything worked into the edge here. You squeeze it and put it over there. Sucks the gold right up. Now the gold's in the bottom of there. Alright guys, we found a pretty good spot this morning. Here's another top secret undisclosed location somewhere deep in the Alaska bush. This area has one of the highest population densities of brown bears anywhere in North America, and they're pretty savage, so always take precautions. Got our 375 Ruger guide gun with some 300 grain dangerous game ammo. And for backup, Glock Model 20 with some extreme penetrators. This area experienced heavy flooding a few years ago, and I don't believe it's been prospected since. So everything got re-stratified. The river used to actually, this creek, not a river, used to actually run right through here. Here's the old bank. This is now, we got stripped out, redeposited. So I've been wanting to get in here and poke around and do a little test panning, see what we got. Just checking it out. Lots of busted quartz, lots of little pieces of quartz all over. Give it a try, see what we find. Got some gloves this time. It'll end up soaked, it'll be better than nothing. Instantly soaked. Again, pull off the big stuff. Make sure it's washed. Get everything good and liquefied. Start slurring it around. Put the heavies on the bottom. Material looks a little bit light. Doesn't surprise me since we're basically just scraping the surface out here. I think the heavies are going to be down deep, but this is a known gold bearing area. It was mined pretty heavily about 100 years ago, and they didn't get all of it. Do a little tapping to make that gold walk over to the edge. And let's see if we got any color. No color. Well, you win some, you lose some. Got a lot of ice and snow to melt off before we can get to the area that I really want to test. We didn't know what to expect out here, but figured what the hell, we're in the area, come check it out. Still really rough going. This area got really buried in snow this past winter. We're in mid-April right now. A lot of years we'd still be under many feet of snow, but it's been a kind of an early spring, so it's going quick. Good time to get the hell out of the house, so go do some gold panning, maybe look for a brown bear or something like that. When you're done watching this video, turn off your phone, turn off your computer, get the hell out of the house and go do something. Go do something dangerous. Go live.